صلوا على النبي الكريم. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على آل محمد وبارك على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آل محمد في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا واجعلنا من الراشدين. Pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him, whatever we are going to listen from Allah, benefit us with it in this world and the hereafter. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Barakallahu feek. Once again, there is a few announcements. This lecture is supposed to be due by 10 o'clock, but due to some situation like poor attendance, we begin at past 13 past 10. Inshallah, we will stop at 12:30 and questions will follow after that. 11 questions will be written. Salat Zuhr will begin by 1 o'clock. Then we have a lunch before we dispatch, inshallah. Now, I'll hand the mic to Sheikh Isa Ali.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد, all praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, and we beg for His forgiveness. We seek Allah's refuge from our evil deeds. Whomever Allah guides cannot be led astray, and whomever is led astray shall find no other than to guide him. I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, who has no partner. And I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave and messenger. Today is 20th of Rabi'ul Thani, 1434 after the Hijrah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from Makkah to the city of Medina. As we converge here in this Leeds Grand Mosque or Leeds Grand Masjid, in order to make this presentation, we begin by supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make what we intend to present beneficial to all of us. And may He make it to be approved for, not against us on the day of judgment. And after that, I will still Grand Muslim Forum, United Kingdom Leeds branch for organizing this program. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put the reward on the scale of their good deeds. يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. The topic of our discussion, as it has been announced by the facilitator of the program, Dr. Shamsuddin, is marriage and the responsibilities of spouses in Islam. This is a very important topic, as we all know that the environment we find ourselves has an impact on our responsibilities, or how we shoulder our responsibilities. In any environment you find yourself, intentionally or otherwise, that environment must have an impact on you. If you are not intellectually and Islamically okay, you will easily start compromising the teachings of your religion. You will start neglecting your own responsibility by adopting the culture of the environment you find yourself. And this is very common indeed. That is why if we are far away from our countries, we are far away from Islamic environments, there is need for us to continue reminding ourselves about our responsibilities. Because wherever we are Muslims. It has no difference whether you live here in the UK, or in Saudi Arabia, or in Nigeria, or in UAE, or in Malaysia, or in the United States of America. Wherever you are a Muslim. And you have your own divine code of conduct. That is Quran and Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is why I really appreciate the effort of these organizers for selecting this topic in order to remind us about our responsibilities Islamically. May Allah guide us aright. In an attempt to present this discussion, I intend to follow a 7-step algorithm, inshallah. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, the essentials of marriage in Islam. 3, the responsibilities of our husband. 4, the responsibilities of our wife. 5, conflict prevention and management in Islam between spouses. That is conflict prevention and management between spouses in Islam. 6, supplication for successful marital life. 7, conclusion. May Allah guide us right. 1, introduction. Allah has indicated to us in so many verses in the glorious Quran about the importance of marriage, about the position of marriage, and not only that, about the essentials of marriage in Islam, and the benefits we will get as a result of getting married. For example, in Surah Al-Rum, Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, from among the signs, that is the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among the evidences that justify the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among the things you will look at to convince you about there must be a creator who created you, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that He created from your own self, your spouses. That is, He created us from, maybe He created men from women and He created women from men. We were all created from our father Adam alayhi salam. And even his wife Hawa was created from part of Adam alayhi salam. And as a result of that creation, that continues repeating itself in this one to the time that we were all born by women, and at the same time, women were born by men. So that is why Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. He created for you your spouses from your own self. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, for you to get tranquility. Because marriage is a source of tranquility. Marriage is a source of peace of mind. Marriage is a source of receiving happiness and safety of life. Marriage is a source of receiving security of faith. So there are so many benefits of marriage in Islam. That is why لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, for you to get tranquility and peace of mind from your spouse. Man receives or rather gets his tranquility from his own wife, and she gets her tranquility and peace of mind from him. That is why we are complementing each other. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, for you to get tranquility and peace of mind. Not only that, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and He put between you mawadda. Mawadda means affection, love, and care. Wa-rahma, and mercy. So these are some of the two qualities that sustain our marriage. That is affection and mercy. That is love and mercy. If you love your wife and she loves you, and if you have mercy towards your wife and she has mercy towards you, you are merciful to her and she is merciful to you as well. These two qualities will easily sustain your marriage. But if there is no love and there is no mercy, that will be the beginning of rancor and confusion in your marriage. So that is why Allah says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and He blesses you with these two qualities in your marriages, that is love and mercy. You love her and she loves you. You are merciful to her and she is merciful to you. So if these two qualities exist in our marriages, then definitely we will achieve tranquility, peace of mind, happiness, and contentment in our marriages. But if these two qualities are missing, then definitely, instead of getting that tranquility, it will be replaced by chaos and pandemonium. So that is why Allah says, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. In this explanation, in this analysis, there are clear signs for those who reflect. There are clear signs for people of understanding. So this verse summarizes to us the importance of marriage, the benefits we derive from our marital affairs. And if we want to achieve these benefits, there is need for all of us to understand our individual responsibilities. You as a husband, you have your own responsibilities. You have some duties that you need to perform. And your wife has her own responsibility, and she has some duties that she needs to fulfill. So if you take your responsibility towards her, and she performs her responsibility towards you, that will be the foundation of having successful marital life. And that is why about our responsibilities, Quran says, وَلَهُنَّ مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة. ولهن, and they have, your wives, ولهن, they have their own responsibilities over you. مثل الذي عليهن, similar to the responsibilities you husbands have over them. وللرجال عليهن درجة, but men have another degree of responsibility, because men or rather husbands are the leaders of their households. They are the leadership of maintaining and protecting that house is on their shoulder. So that is why the Quran says, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. So that is why there is no confusion. Men are the leaders of their homes. The leadership of their homes is on their shoulder. So they have the leadership while their wife or their wives have followership. So if you perform your leadership and she performs her followership Islamically, that will be the best foundation of trying to fulfill your individual responsibilities. That is why Quran says, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. So whenever your wife tries to seize that power of leadership from you, it will be the beginning of another chaos and pandemonium. Because of what? If she tries to say that she must rule this house, and whatever she wishes must be performed in this house, the good, the bad, and the ugly, there must be a problem. So that is why if we do not understand our individual responsibilities, that will be the beginning of our confusion. That will be the beginning of our misunderstandings. Most of the times, if you see these misunderstandings are as a result of not identifying and performing our responsibilities. Whenever she tries to seize your power of leadership and you hold on to it, you try to maintain your power and she tries to seize it from you, definitely there must be a problem. And this is the beginning of most of the crises we experience in our marital life. His Eminence Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah have mercy on him and may he be pleased with him as well, said, the meaning of the verse, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ means وَلَهُنَّ بِحُسْنِ الصُّحْبَةِ وَالْعِشْرَةِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ مِثْلُ مَا أَوْجَبَ أَزْوَاجُهُنَّ عَلَيْهِنَّ مِنَ الطَّاعَةِ. The meaning of the verse is وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Women or wives have some rights upon their husbands, similar to the rights their husbands have upon them. Meaning, women have the rights from you of husnul suhuba, that is good companionship, wal-ishra bil-ma'ruf, and kind treatment. While your greatest responsibility upon her is obedience. In whatever you command her to do, as long as your command does not go against the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you need to have two responsibilities towards her. Two general responsibilities, general ones. First is husn suhba, good companionship. Try to have good companionship to her. Smile to your wife. Try to be a good companion to her. Encourage her to do what is good and to avoid what is evil. Try to see that you demonstrate some of your qualities as a husband of good companionship. And the second one is kind treatment. Try to be kind to your wife. Whatever you intend to do, whenever you intend to treat her, try to be kind in your treatment. So these are the two general responsibilities of وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. While her general responsibility is only one, that is obedience to you. She must be obedient to her husband. As long as his command or his instruction does not go against the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So that is her own general responsibility. Try to be obedient to your husband. If he asks you to do something, do it instantly. If he commands you, do it instantly. If he asks you to abstain, abstain instantly. As long as his instructions do not go against the teaching of your religion. So, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. This takes me to the second stage of our discussion. That is the essentials of marriage in Islam. There are many essentials of marriage in Islam. And within the time frame we have, I will only try to figure out a few of them, inshallah ta'ala, and I believe that will make us to appreciate the gist of our discussion. One, marriage serves us marriage serves us a source of tranquility and security of faith. This can be easily figured out from the verse we read earlier of Surah Al-Rum, where Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. In this verse, Allah has clearly explained to us that marriage is a source of tranquility, is a source of peace of mind, is a source of happiness. And not only that, it's a security to your faith. Because as long as you have your wife, you will find it easy to control your gaze, to control your eyes. Because Quran commands us to control our eyes by saying, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم. O Prophet, instruct believing men to control their eyes and at the same time to safeguard their private parts. So by having your wife, that will not be difficult to you. That is why our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in a hadith reported by Muslim, when Allah had blessed on him, says to all of us, إِنَّ الْمَرْأَ تُقْبِلُ فِي سُورَةِ الشَّيْطَانِ وَتُدْبِرُ فِي سُورَةِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Al-mar'a, a woman, approaches you in the future of Satan, and she turns back from you in a future of Satan. That what this means, that if you follow any woman you see around, any lady you see around, she may mislead you. As long as you come out and you see a woman almost naked, instead of maintaining or looking at her, go back and meet your wife at home. Our ulama, may Allah have mercy on them, said, whatever you see with that woman, if you go back to your wife at home, she has the same thing. So you look at it, this is part of the security of your faith. Because as long as you go out and commit adultery or fornication, that may destroy your faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know a hadith which is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them, in which our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, La yazni zani hina yazni wa huwa mu'min. No any believing man or believing woman will commit zina. So if you have a wife, controlling yourself, safeguarding your private part from committing zina, inshallah, will not be difficult to you. That is why your spouse, your husband or your wife serves as your source of security of faith. And the same applies to women, to our women counterpart. As long as you have your husband and he tries to fulfill all his responsibilities, that will easily safeguard your faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will not go out and commit sin. Because whatever you see with another man outside, your husband has the same thing. So that's why marriage protects our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and at the same time gives us tranquility, peace of mind and happiness. Are you following? 2, fulfilling the sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In so many traditions, Allah's apostle, peace and blessings be upon him, says that marriage is his sunnah. النكاح سنتي ما رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. Marriage is my tradition, is my sunnah, and whoever avoids my tradition is not part of my ummah. So as long as you are a Muslim, and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time you intend to follow the sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then definitely marriage is very essential to you, because it is a sunnah. That is why he says, "Man raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni." Whoever avoids my sunnah is not part of my community, is not part of my ummah. So that is why some of our pious predecessors, may Allah have mercy on them, got married in their life, not because of sexual desire only, but rather because they intended to fulfill the sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are so many examples indeed, like going through the biography of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, may Allah have mercy on him. There are so many examples. There was a time that his wife died. Today, the following day he got married. People were amazed, they were flabbergasted, discussing about the issue. He lost his wife yesterday, and today he got married. He said, "I did so because I fear to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without having a wife. That is only what I fear." So they fear to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without having a partner. That is why some of them got married. Not because they couldn't control their own desire, but they only intended to achieve and fulfill this sunnah of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. 3, reproduction. Marriage gives you children through reproduction. This is something that you cannot achieve it through any means today except through marriage. For you to have children, we are all products of marriage here. And our children are products of marriage as well. So look at one of the essentials of marriage is the way of reproducing this ummah, way of reproduction. That is why in a hadith, which has been reported by Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, may Allah have mercy on him, and it has been authenticated by Sheikh Muhammad Nasir in his book, Irwaqul Khalil, fi takhrij ahadith madar as-sabil. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Tazawwaju al-wadud al-waluda, fa inni mukathir bikum al-anbiya yawm al-qiyamah." Get married to reproductive and loving wives, because I will be proud of your number numerically on the day of judgment. He commands us to get married because he will be proud of our number numerically on the day of Qiyamah. And our scholars, may Allah have mercy on them, say our beloved Prophet will be proud of our number on the day of judgment if we have faith in Allah. But if we are docile and weak believers, then definitely we will not be proud of our number. We know a hadith that some people will come on the day of judgment in order to drink this water of Al-Kawthar, in the Al-Kawthar. And they will be asked to leave the place. Then he will ask your companions, "Why are you driving them away from my ocean of Al-Kawthar?" Then angels will tell him that they have changed your religion. They have completely destroyed your sunnah. The Prophet will instantly say, "Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah." So that is why our beloved Prophet will be proud of our number on the day of judgment if we have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we try to have good children through Islamic and genuine upbringing, that is what is important. As long as you have children, take care of them, educate them Islamically. Teach them the glorious Quran. Teach them the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Teach them good morals of Islam. This is what is important, not only to produce without Islamic upbringing. So marriage gives you children, and this is one of the essentials of marriage. For fulfilling your natural sexual desire. Sexual desire is natural in both men and female. In both men and female. And not only that, in husbands and wives. That is something that is natural. It's something that is inherent, is inbuilt. This is something that even if you can remove that sexual desire artificially, our ulama say is prohibited for you to do that. Because some companions requested our beloved Prophet Muhammad to allow them to try to see how they can remove this natural sexual desire artificially. And he has warned them against about doing that. Because of what? Because it's something that is natural and inbuilt. And this is what Quran demonstrates to us clearly. زُيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ حُبُّ الشَّهَوَاتِ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ وَالْبَنِينَ وَالْقَنَاطِيرِ الْمُقَنطَرَةِ مِنَ الذَّهَبِ وَالْفِضَّةِ وَالْخَيْلِ الْمُسَوَّمَةِ وَالْأَنْعَامِ وَالْحَرْثِ ذَلِكَ مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَاللَّهُ عِندَهُ حُسْنُ الْمَآبِ. And in a hadith reported by Imam Abu Dawud and others, may Allah have mercy on them, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Ubbiba ilayya min dunyakum at-tayyibu wan-nisa." In this hadith, he praises perfume and women. These are two things that he loves them. He loves perfume and he loves women. So this is something that is natural, it's not artificial. And this sexual desire, you can only fulfill it Islamically and genuinely through legal and legitimate marriage. These are some of the essentials of marriage that you cannot achieve anywhere. And these essentials of marriage can only be achieved if we understand our responsibilities as husbands and if our wives understand their responsibilities. So if we try to fulfill individual responsibilities, that will help us, inshallah ta'ala, in establishing a successful marital institution. This takes me to the next stage of our discussion, that is the responsibilities of husband. The responsibilities of husbands are many in Islam. But I will only make an attempt to figure out the most important ones. These responsibilities can be divided into two. هذه الحقوق تنقسم إلى قسمين. هناك الحقوق المالية وهناك الحقوق غير مالية. There are financial responsibilities and non-financial responsibilities. Financial responsibilities comprise one, as-sadaq, dowry. Before making any marriage contract, there must be an issue of dowry, that is as-sadaq, al-mahar. This is her right. Whether to give her before marriage or after marriage is allowed in Islam. Even if you delay it after marriage, that sadaq must be given to her, as long as you enjoy staying with her as your own wife. This is her own, your first responsibility towards her. You must give her a sadaq. This sadaq can be delayed in Islam, maybe after first year of your marriage or second year or third year. But even after you are dead, this sadaq must be given to her, even from the property or the estate you left behind, because it's not just a necessity but an obligation. As-sadaq or al-mahar is obligatory. Our ulama call it obligatory bridal token amount of money. That is something that must be given to her. This amount of money that you give to her as a sadaq demonstrates your own seriousness and commitment to her marriage. It is a token amount of money that represents your own respect and honor towards her. You are demonstrating the respect you have and how you honor her by giving her this token amount of money or property as her own sadaq. And that is why the Quran says, وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحِلًا. Give women their own glory with a good heart. something that you love, you respect. Showing to her your commitment, showing to her your seriousness in marrying her. That is the secret behind it. You are only trying to show that I love you, I respect you, I honor you. And the best way for me to do that, let me give you something that will demonstrate that respect I have for you. That is why you give out sadaqah. So this is your first financial responsibility towards your wife. 2, living expenses and the basic necessities. This is something that is on your shoulder. That is your responsibility as a husband to take care of her living expenses and her basic necessities like food, clothing, medical bills, and many other things. It is your responsibility. And these things are not just a necessity, but an obligation. As long as you enjoy her, as long as she is with you as your wife, and as long as you fulfill your sexual desire with her, taking that responsibility is not just a necessity, but an obligation. Even if your wife is richer than you, even if she is 1 million times richer than you, as long as she stays with you as your wife, you must take that responsibility. And that is what Quran draws our attention to by saying, وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Live with them honorably. Live with them with kindness. This is what Allah commands us to do. And not only that, in another hadith, which is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says, "Istawsu bil nisa'i khayra." I command you to be kind towards your wives. And not only that, in a hadith again, which is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them. قالت عائشة زوج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, أمنا عائشة, the wife of our beloved Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, said, جاءت هند بنت عتبة زوج أبي سفيان رضي الله عنه إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقالت, يا رسول الله, إن أبا سفيان رجل شهيه لا يعطيني من المال ما يكفيني ويكفي بني إلا ما أخذته من ماله بغير علمه فهل علي في ذلك جناح؟ قال لا, خذي من ماله بغير علمه ما يكفيك ويكفي بنيك بالمعروف. Hind bint Utbah, the wife of Abu Sufyan radiyallahu anhu, she entered upon our beloved Prophet. She entered upon him and said, Ya Rasulullah, O Messenger of Allah, Inna Abu Sufyan, indeed my husband Abu Sufyan, Rajulun Shahihun, is a stingy man. He finds it difficult to take his responsibilities, financial responsibility. Is a stingy man. He doesn't give me what will be enough for me and my children, except what I take from his own property without his knowledge. Sometimes he takes something from his pocket without his knowledge. He had the resources, but he found it difficult to give out to his family. So she said, sometimes I take from his own pocket without his knowledge. Is there any sin upon me if I continue doing so? Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to her, خُذِي مِنْ مَالِهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمِهِ مَا يَكْفِيكِ وَيَكْفِي بَنِيكِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Continue taking from his own pocket. Continue taking his money without his knowledge. What will be sufficient to you and what will be sufficient to your children? Bil ma'ruf, but do this with kindness or honorability, without extravagance. That is what he said to her. So this hadith tells us that as long as somebody finds it difficult to take care of his family, it's allowed for her to silently, secretly, and gently take his card, go there, dial his own PIN number, take 100 or 200 pounds, come back home, try to buy whatever you see is important for you or for your children is allowed. This is very important. It is allowed for you to be Islamically. But the first step for you to do that is try to understand his PIN number. If you know his PIN number, you can take his card, go there, dial the PIN number, ask the machine to give you something. After taking, you can say, Alhamdulillah, come back home, get a sheet of paper, write down a few things you need to buy. Go to Asda, to any other shop around, or any other shop. Try to get something that is sufficient for you and your children as well. But if he takes care of his family, he provides whatever you need, particularly basic necessities. So don't do that. We should understand this. As long as he shoulders his own responsibility Islamically, you are not allowed to take his money. You are not allowed in such kind of situations. But even when there are no harm, if you beg him to at least give you some, even an allowance, that is okay. You can beg him, please, I need to have at least £100 monthly as my allowance, please help me. My husband, please. No problem, you can do that. Ask him. If you know how to control him, he can easily give you. But try to have the remote control at the right time. Try to study him psychologically and know the best time for you to ask him. If I say the best time, I mean the best time for you to beg him. You know the best time for you. Try to know the best time, have your remote control at your disposal. Control him easily, beg him, he will say, okay, no problem. 100 or 2, no, 100 is okay, take it. That is okay. Try to understand the best time in court, please. Try to understand the best time. So it is his own responsibility to provide our living expenses and that of our children. And about that responsibility to provide the living expenses, even Yawm Hajjatul Wada, that is during the farewell sermon of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was about to depart this world. This is what he had been emphasizing to his companions. He had been emphasizing about this by saying, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ فِي النِّسَاءِ فَإِنَّكُمْ أَخَذْتُمُوهُنَّ بِأَمَانِ اللَّهِ وَاسْتَحْلَلْتُمْ فُرُوجَهُنَّ بِكَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ. Up to the end of the hadith where he says, وَلَهُنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. In a hadith reported by Muslim. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasized during his khutbatul wada, that farewell khutbah, farewell sermon, when he performed his last pilgrimage, he said, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ فِي النِّسَاءِ. You men, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ فِي النِّسَاءِ. Fear Allah and keep your duty to Him with regards to your wives, with regards to women. فَإِنَّكُمْ أَخَذْتُمُوهُنَّ بِأَمَانِ اللَّهِ. Because you have taken their responsibility by the security of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She left her mother at home. She left her father at home. She left her younger and elder brothers and sisters at home. She left her town. She left her state. She left her city. And she follows you wherever you go. And the only contact she maintains with her parent is through making calls. That is the only contact she maintains. As a result of getting married to you, she spent a year or 2 or 3 without seeing her mother, without seeing her father, without seeing her younger and elder brothers and sisters, just because of your marriage. That is akhastumuhunna bi amanillah. So if you take her away from her parents, try to be her own father as well. That is, try to be her spiritual father. Try to be her own spiritual brother. Try to be her spiritual younger and elder brothers. Because she stays with you, she controls your house, she cooks food for you, she does this and that for you, day in, day out. Wherever you go, she follows you. Why can't you have mercy towards her? That is فَإِنَّهُمْ أَخَذْتُمُهُنَّ بِأَمَانِ اللَّهِ. Not only that, وَاسْتَحَلَلْتُمْ فُرُوجَهُنَّ بِكَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ. And sexual intercourse has been made lawful between you بِكَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ, by the word of Allah. That is why the marriage contract, you give out glory, you send somebody to represent you to her wali, that is her protector. And after making that marriage contract Islamically, she becomes your wife, and you are free, or she is free to enjoy you sexually and otherwise. And at the end of the hadith, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Walakum walahunna alaykum." Your wives have upon you rizquhunna, providing their sustenance. What is what, and clothing them bil ma'ruf, with kindness. It is your responsibility to provide something that will take care of their lives, to provide food for them, to pay for their medical bills. Not only that, whatever they need of clothing and many other things, it is your responsibility. And that is why Muawiyah, in a hadith reported by Imam Abu Dawud, may Allah have mercy on him, said, Ya Rasulallah, ma haqqu zawji ahadina alayhi. O Messenger of Allah, what is the rights, or what are the rights of one's wife upon him? What are my wife's rights upon me? He asked this question. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied him by saying, to provide food for her if you eat, that is what you eat. And to clothe her if you clothe yourself. It is her right not to eat or to slap her on her face. And not insult her. Don't insult her parents. Don't attack the personality of her parents. And don't forsake her except within your own home. This is what he told him. To take care of her, to provide food for her, not only that, to clothe her as long as you clothe yourself, and not to hit her face, not to beat her face, not to slap her on her face, and not to insult her parents, and not to forsake her except within your own home. The third one is accommodation. It is your responsibility to provide an accommodation for your wife wherever you are. Renting an accommodation is your responsibility as a husband. It's not her responsibility. Even if she works, even if she gets salary, even if she gets an allowance, it is not her responsibility but yours. That is what Islam says. As long as she stays with you as your wife, and as long as you have sexual relationship, it is your responsibility. If she is richer than you, and she helps you in doing that, this is something that is commendable. It's good for her to do that, but it's not her responsibility. That is why about accommodation, providing an accommodation for her, Quran says, أَسْكِنُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ سَكَنْتُمْ مِنْ وُجْدِكُمْ. Lodge them wherever you live, according to your needs. Lodge them, provide an accommodation for them wherever you live according to your needs. وَلَا تُضَارُّوهُنَّ لِتُضَيِّقُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ. Don't harm them in order to make life difficult for them. Try to understand your needs, what you will afford to do it. So these are the financial responsibilities that Islam has put upon your own shoulder. And there are non-financial responsibilities. One, fair treatment. That is justice in treating your wife or your wives and your children. There must be a fair treatment. And this is what Islam commands you. Fair treatment in spending, in clothing, in sharing nights among your wives, if there are 2, 3, or 4. But Islam does not compel you, does not force you to have equal love of 2 wives in your heart. This is something that is impossible. You do not control your love, you do not control your heart. But what you have of resources, you have to be fair to your wives. You have to be fair to your children. That is why Quran says, وَلَنْ تَسْتَطِيعُوا أَنْ تَعْدِلُوا بَيْنَ النِّسَاءِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتُمْ فَلَا تَمِيلُوا كُلَّ الْمَيْلِ فَتَذَرُوهَا كَالْمُعَلَّقَةِ. And our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a hadith reported by Abu Dawud, may Allah have mercy on him, says, مَنْ كَانَ لَهُ إِمْرَأَتَانِ فَمَالَ إِلَىٰ إِحْدَاهُمَا جَاءَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَشِقُّهُ مَالٍ. Fair treatment not only between your wives, even your children. There must be fair treatment. You must be just to your children as well. In spending, in treating them, in teaching them, in showing your love and care for them, there must be fair treatment. We know a very popular hadith which is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them. One of the companions, one of the Sahaba by name Al-Nu'man Ibn Bashir, his father Al-Nu'man Al-Bashir took him to our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and said to him, Ya Rasulallah, O Prophet, I want you to be my witness that I wrote my will allocating this and that property to this one of my children, pointing at An-Nu'man. Then Prophet asked him, did you allocate the same to your remaining children, like how you did to him? He said, no. Then Prophet said, fear Allah and give your duty to him by being fair and just to your children. So that is why even in treating our children, we have to be fair and just. That's what Islam commands you. Because something happens emotionally. You do not intend to do it, but sometimes you will see that you are more inclined towards one of them. Whenever he comes to it or complain, it's okay, go and take it. Okay, I will buy it for you tomorrow. If the other one comes to you, you say, okay, if I get money, I will buy it for you. If the first one comes, whenever he comes, you say, you will buy it for him tomorrow, and you will do it. If it is available at home, you will say, go and take it. And if the second one comes, you say, okay, I have no money, but I get money, I will buy it for you. You continue repeating, you have no money. Whenever he comes, with a request or complaint, you have no money. But if the first one comes to complain, whatever he requires from you, you give him. This is something like maybe setting the pace of destroying your home. If you find it difficult to be fair and just to your children, that will destroy even the morality of your home at all. Try to be just to all your children, to all your wives, to kindness. Islam commands you to be kind to your wife or your wives and your children as well. Justice is not the same with kindness. Justice means al-adl wal al-qist, while kindness means al-ihsan. So try to be kind to your wife and your children as well. This is very important indeed. That is why so many traditions show to us clearly how our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been kind to his family.